Wow, look at that.
Woo! The air drum once
Wow.
again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, welcome, welcome. My name is Chase Steele Gray, and if it's your first time joining us today, thank you so much for being here. I am definitely coming to you live from the NYC. Excited about the new day, as well as excited about my guest for today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. He's always ready to go. So let me just give you the quick, done and broad straight about him. Jonathan Arons, Grammy-winning New York City trombonist and entertainer, semifinals from America's Got Talent, viral dancing trombonist on internet for 2 decades. He's played with Stevie Wonder, Alicia Keys, Bon Jovi, so many people. And to this day, right now in the present, he's headlining on cruise lines under the Don Casino agency. And he's playing his trombone, he's dancing, comedy, all kinds of stuff. He's a great, great friend of mine. I've performed with him multiple times. We've had multiple deep conversations on life, living, performers, religion, all kinds of things. I find him to be an extremely talented and unique
Oh,
individual. I have so
thanks,
much
man.
respect for him. And that is why I brought him here on the huddle today. Please welcome Jonathan Aaron.
Hey, everybody. Chase, thanks so much for having me, man. I feel the same way about you. I'm always honored to be a fellow warrior on the bandstand, bringing the feelings to the people. And
Right, right,
and I
right.
feel like you and I have similar mission statements when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's true. And
Eh,
before you say anything, I want to make it very clear to everyone that when I met you, when I saw you the first time ever, I walked into a club and in the corner was this guy. I never seen a trombone player move as much as this in my whole life.
that
Okay.
that was
I've been
that
around
groove.
people who
That was
play
that
all
groove,
the
right? That was that groove.
No, no. I saw you in a club in the West Village at Groove for the first time ever.
Yeah, groove. At groove, right. Yeah,
Ever.
yeah.
Right.
That's right.
And when I saw this guy dancing, now think about it. When you think about horn players, they're usually kind of in the background, they're minimal movement, they're doing their thing, even if they're amazing, amazing. I swear to you, this guy stuck out so much, you might as well have had flashing lights on you. I just thought, what an amazing performer. And I had to meet you, and I spoke to you, and as energy has it, I believe that energy follows energy.
Yeah.
In no time, Jonathan and I were on the stage somewhere else completely different. And I went, Jonathan, you were like, hey, what's up? And then from then on, we've been on stages all over the country and out of the United States. I mean, out of our city as well. So,
Yeah.
I picked you specifically as it relates to this topic. All
Okay.
right. I know
Yeah.
you're moving, you're shaking, you're baking, you're on TV, you're on radio, you're on the cruise ship. And I wanted to
Time.
know about your health habits specifically because, hey, this is a tough ride we're on. This is a
Yeah.
really tricky navigation that we've picked in this world of entertainment. So
Yeah.
unpack that a little bit for me about your regimen, what you do, things that go on with you, you're on and off of these ships. What's going on?
Um, of health regimen wise, I think the most important thing for me has been rest and exercise.
Okay.
And eating right. I mean, it's pretty much what everyone says.
Right.
Um, you have to make sure the fuel you're taking is clean-ish. That doesn't mean, I have my vices. I like I'm big into sweets. Um, but yeah, I always feel like in terms of like pacing, and it's funny because sometimes you can't, if you're on the road, you can't always eat what you want, and you can't always exercise, and you definitely are low on sleep, right? Depending on the schedule and whatnot. Uh, so when things are kind of out of your control and you don't have those elements at your disposal to the degree that you like, uh, it's important to drink water. At least you can usually find water
Yes,
around.
definitely.
Yeah, so hydration. Um, it's funny. I think so yeah, definitely those three, you know, material things, right? I think also you need to have the right mindset. Like you almost need to have I it's funny, um I often forget this specific word. It's not itemization. It's like when you're taking stock, I forgot this word again. It's when you're uh
Inventory.
inventory, yes. You have to have an inventory, a checklist of all the things you need to get through a day or the gig, and that's everything from the actual, so that's like your mental health thing
Right.
is that the inventory. So yeah, I would start with those. I would start with let's say yeah, diet, and usually with diet, I think probiotics are important, especially the older you get. Yeah.
Yeah.
So usually that includes like I love kombucha. I'm a and some
What was
people
that?
kombucha
Oh,
kombucha.
kombucha.
That's
Yeah.
like
Oh, kombucha is amazing. Yeah.
I love that. But also yogurt.
Right.
Salads. That's what I eat a lot. Um. Uh. Yeah. But I also like I eat meat. I'm a meat eater. I know
Right.
some people. I know there's a lot of things when it comes to like sustainability and today in terms of eating meat and environmentalism and the health of the world. But I think everyone is different, and some people just need to, they're meat eaters. Not everyone. I don't think everyone
Yeah. I mean, it's a
should be
choice,
vegans.
and you and I have another thing in common is that spending lots of time on cruise ships. I spent
Yeah.
over 2 years on different cruise ships around the world. When you're on the cruise ship, I was going to ask you this before. Do you find that you eat more because there's more available? You follow me?
Um.
Like
Yeah.
breakfast,
Yeah.
lunch,
Yeah.
and dinner
Yeah.
for anybody to do it on land, but on the ship, you got breakfast, you got the lounge, you got a lunch area, you have dinner, you have the buffet. You can eat until your head falls off. What have you been doing on that in that level?
Well, it's hard for me to resist the pound cake. but I'm such a there's a voice in my head, and I know not everyone has that voice in their head, or their gut, but there often it just tells me, you know, don't eat too much, fatty.
Wow. Wow.
you, like, just like, yeah, I honestly don't eat. The extra food on ships. I'm able to. There's not a lot. Oh yeah, right on.
It's everywhere.
Someone's yeah. I mean, like, but I guess the thing is, it's like oh my god, am I gonna really make this analogy? It's like, okay, I feel like the food on the cruise ship is like the amount of streaming services available to watch your favorite show. Like it's always available, but you don't have to binge watch
Oh, I
that
know you don't
show.
have to.
You
I'm
know
just seeing people that do. I mean, how
that
do you
do
eat
right,
at
but
an
you got
evening?
it's like
You know you
it's
have
like
a dinner,
it's
right?
yeah, but it's like being invited to Diddy's parties. Sometimes you gotta say no. You gotta
No,
say no.
I'm 100% with you. It just fascinates me as entertainers. We either the people on the cruise ship either go to the show and then eat, or eat
Yeah,
and then go to the show. So everyone's eaten at a certain point in the evening. Everyone's done.
yeah.
Within 25 minutes, they're out at a buffet. You just ate. That's what I'm
Well,
saying, and that
right,
that
right.
throws me off sometimes.
I mean, but you're talking about the passengers, not the crew, right? Not the performers.
Say it again.
Not you're talking about the crew. I mean, you're talking about the passengers, not the
Well,
not the
everybody
performers on
has
the
the
ship.
opportunity to eat. I mean, you're a special act
Sure.
entertainer. I could go and eat anywhere I wanted when I was on the cruise
Yeah.
ship. So,
Yeah.
that
I feel like
it's a choice.
I feel like when you are an entertainer, your body is such a temple, and it's such a part of what we do as a presentation of ourselves, that you got to be really on top of it. So for me, being the type A control freak I am, I I'm pretty disciplined as far as like, nah, like one piece of pound cake is good, or if I deserved it, if I like really sweat and I worked out extra hard. If it was leg day,
Right.
I also don't skip leg day. Don't skip leg day. Although sometimes I skip leg day. If you skip leg day, do yoga. I'm
Well,
a big yoga guy. Yoga is the biggest reason why I've been able to jump into splits for 20 years.
I'm
And
glad
and
you
I've
said
had
that.
it. I've had injuries. I've had injuries,
Yeah.
hamstring pulls, knee issues here and there. But I always find, specifically, they used to call it Bikram yoga, but he apparently isn't got caught as being not such a great guy. But I always say, um, when it comes to any kind of information, sometimes the information still is valuable regardless of the messenger. So you separate the message from the messenger. I feel that way about artists as well. I feel like
Right.
artists can be flawed people, but they can do great work. And
Right.
you just, it doesn't take away from the power of the work. So when it comes to this practice, I love the Bikram yoga practice. There's 26 postures. It's very pragmatic. It gets every nook and cranny of the fascia tissue and all that stuff. So, but I'm not as consistent as I used to be. So if I'm not doing yoga, I I I weight train, and if I can't fit in a yoga on a gig day, I do these Martha Graham stretches I learned in high school, which is, I know on gigs you're like, there goes John, spread eagle on the floor.
Well, I mean, you leave it all on the floor, and I'm glad you said that because I
Oh,
want to give you I want to give you your flowers for something
oh,
specific,
thank you,
and I
man.
want to make this known to everybody because I think it's very very important. You were talking about mindset a moment ago, and I don't know if you remember this. When I first met you, we're on stages, 10-piece bands, we travel to, whatever. You
Yeah,
always used to say to me, "Damn, man, I want to sing, man. I want to be out in the front more. I want to do more singing." And I was like, "All right,
yeah.
do it." And anytime I had the opportunity to give you the mic, I'd be like, "Here you go." And you'd go
I
off when you sing and you
Thank
do
you,
your
man.
thing. And the reason why I'm giving you your flowers is because you're only
Thanks, bro.
you're only
What?
the second person in my life that actually came to me and said, "Chase, I want to sing, man. I want to be more in the front. I want to be in the front." The first guy that came to me that said that to me, I said, "All right, next time we go on the cruise, I'm gonna have my girlfriend at the time put you in the welcome aboard show. You want to sing?" He's like, "Oh, really? How are you gonna do that?" I said, "I'm gonna work it out for you. Let me see what you got." And he did it, and it scared the crap out of him. He came back to me and he goes, "Wow, that was the scariest freaking thing I've ever done." I said, "Bro, you're a dancer. You're on stage every night. What do you mean?" He goes, "Oh my God, Chase, I was so afraid. My heart was beating out of my chest. You,
Yeah,
I know you're afraid to be on stage, but you're now with Don Casino, one of the longest running agencies ever in cruise ships, and you're doing your own show." And
thanks, man.
I want to let
I
everyone know
it's
that you stay
do you,
focused.
do you want to know a secret? You
What?
want to know a secret? I I got in trouble on my last ship. I got a bad review. I was doing well. I've only done 5 ships so far. I got a bad review on my last ship. And part of the complaint is that I'm singing too much. They're like, we're booking you
Really?
as a we're booking you as a trombonist, and
Wow.
people see singers all week, and you're being
Wow.
billed as a trombonist. And honestly, it's true. I want to sing so much that the show has evolved to like, or was evolved. It had
Right.
evolved to like 75, 80% singing and 20%
Wow.
trombone. So they kind of gave me a slap on the wrist, and I got with my manager, and now it's more like 60-40
Well, you
trombone.
did it, Jonathan. That's my point. You're
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you
I did,
wanted
I
to
did,
be. You spoke to me. You said
and
you asked me. You did.
you know,
Remember? And I said,
I,
"Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it."
I like these comments. Someone put laughing emojis. That's funny. Well, Chase. Well, first of all, it's like well, there are a few things. So let's address some of the things you brought up, and I'm honored by your by what you said. I One is that, as you know, living in New York City, you're in the cauldron, the crucible of the baddest singers in the world. And so it's like you if you're gonna try to put yourself out there as a singer, especially if you're coming later to the game, later in your life,
Right.
um, number one is to humble yourself. You got to humble yourself, and so and with that, you got to put in the time to get better, and in order to get better, you got to be realistic about like what do you need to work on, my friend? What do you have to work on? And so you have to and not everyone, because people, we all want to be supportive of each other. You got to find people. Well, actually, if you record yourself, you can hear it for yourself. But there are delusional people out there who won't hear what they need to work on. So I try to be honest about what I need to work on and what I need to continue to work on. And there are things I've gotten better at, and there's still things I'm working through. And it's interesting though, because the quote you started this podcast with, I
Yeah, yeah.
it's I really find that if you're going to be a front person or you want to do more front person work, there's nothing more powerful than the power of the word, than the power of words, than the power of voice. I mean, yeah, you have like instrumentalists who to the tour of the world. You have people who just do the horn thing. I, could I have done that? It's harder to do on trombone. The trombone, it's not a saxophone or a trumpet. I mean, trombone shorty does it, but trombone shorty sings also.
Right.
Um, um, it's not the big band era anymore. Glenn Miller and Tommy Dorsey aren't, you know, bringing the big bucks. I think if you're going to be a front person, you got to be able to sing at least a little bit. Now the
But
thing
you
is
can
also,
sing. You can.
I am. I'm better than I was.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm giving
I'm
you
better
your
than I was.
flowers.
Yeah, but
You pulled it up.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's funny. It's not easy to receive compliments in this.
I,
It is.
I see that.
But on top of that, it's also because it's like I feel like I'm just starting, and I know there's still a lot of work to do. So I don't.
Right.
I'm afraid to receive compliments because it's like I don't want it to temper my hunger to get better. Like Chase, you want to talk about a habit in this business. For me, my life feels like a never-ending Rocky training montage. It never ends. I feel like I'm constantly doing one-arm push-ups to get better. I'm
Right.
constantly
Right.
climbing a mountain in freaking Russia to like, beat some like monolith of demon inside my head
Right.
telling
Right.
me you suck, you stupid dancing trombone playing clown, you suck, you stupid dopey dude.
Well, wait a
and
second.
and
Let
so
me stop
so
you right
you
there.
you you, you got you got to look at your demons. You got to look at your demons, stare them down, say, okay, I see me, what do I need to work on? And then if you could throw some love in for yourself and accept for where you are, cool. But for me, I'm driven, and I've been saying this. Like, first of all right, here we go. I'm gonna throw this out there. I'll just finish
Hold
this
on a second.
last thought.
Hold on one
What?
second.
Wait, can
Before
I
you.
finish this? Can I finish this last thought? I just had it's a succinct thought. Okay.
Okay.
One is what we do as people in music.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer that there's a higher power out there. And I think there, depending on what you believe in, there are different ways to define it. And for me, that's like the line from Enter the Dragon when Bruce Lee says, it's like the finger pointing to the moon. and they slap the student. Don't look at the finger or you miss all the heavenly glory. We all have a different finger on how to get there, right?
Right.
So the thing is, for me, at the end of the day, it's about channeling that higher power when you're at that peak level of performance on stage. But
Right.
otherwise, I would say what drives my energy on stage is a unique combination of rage and self-loathing. But then you take that negativity and you bring the higher power of the positive light from above.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then when they combine, that's the synergy of what happens on stage. That's it. That's all I was going to say.
Listen, I can tell you categorically, Jonathan Arons, I brought you here first and foremost because of your tenaciousness. Did you hear what I said in the beginning of the? Did you hear those accolades?
Oh,
I have
thanks, man.
never seen you not working hard. I think that
Thanks,
needs to
bro.
be recognized, right? To be with those people that you've been with, Stevie Wonder, Alicia Keys, they don't work with people who don't work hard.
Well, I should clarify. Most of that has been through chops, horns, and Ray Chu, different things. Specifically, David Watson of chops, horns, great
David
sax
Watson,
player.
one of my favorite people.
Yeah, and he performs with us all the time. It's
Yes,
so funny. The funny thing about doing what we do is that no no matter what height of success we all get to, eventually you're gonna find us at a wedding on a weekend.
isn't that crazy?
I
We still
know.
get those calls. Yes.
It's like WTF, WTF. I thought we moved past this. No, no, it's always I'm better than this shit. I'm better than this shit. What the fuck am I doing here? No, 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 no,
Oh
no, no. We
man.
love, no, we love playing for your rich daughter and
Right.
son. We
And
no,
if
no,
it
no, no,
gets
no,
to
no,
the
no,
point,
no. But no, and that's not to knock against rich people.
no, no.
Everyone, the world don't operate without rich people. Okay, we all have our roles in this world.
Right.
Sorrow's laughing.
But when you get to a point, is there something, anything, and I'll ask you a question, you'll see what you think. Is there something where you can get a gig and you're at a high level? I'm trying to
Yeah.
make up a gig. You're the feature performer in, I don't know, you're on tour with Luis Miguel, the Latin
Oh,
superstar.
oh,
You're
dude,
making
like, come on, let's like go even higher. Going on tour, making the rounds of the festivals, doing your own music,
okay, you're
doing
doing your
your
own
own
thing.
music.
And what's my question? Then when you get a call to say, Jonathan, we need you at this wedding, is there ever a point where it'll cut off? You go, I don't do weddings anymore.
That's the goal.
Nice. Very nice. Weddings, ooh, I don't do those anymore. Thanks, though. I love you.
No, no.
That
Well,
would be crazy.
okay. That's smarmy John talking, right? That's elitist John talking. Well, okay. I mean, come on, let's be real. Of course, we all want to be able to say no to doing a wedding gig, right? If we're successful enough, right? But I'm gonna shout out Dave Watson on this, right? Because I'll never forget what he said when it comes to relative success. He says, "You better be nice to the people on the way up
That's right.
because because you want them to be nice to you on the way down."
Right. That's right.
Because it's up and down. Okay, but if I ever got to a level where I had some sustainability where I didn't need to do a wedding gig, I might say yes just to play with the cats.
Right.
Because I mean, honestly, like no matter who you're on the road with, I think it's different playing a wedding band outside New York City or the metropolitan area versus if you're doing I don't know, even a wedding in LA. There's a hunger and musicianship that we have as New Yorkers, where especially if we're all grinding, doing our own thing and freelancing, and there's a level of like fire that everyone brings to as something as simple as a party gig that you don't find anywhere else. It's like we you turn that into a Madison Square Garden level of energy and performance because it's what we do, and I think we're all egotistical enough to be like to leave it be like, no, I want my last performance to be remembered,
Right.
regardless of where it is. And I remember I heard Lady Gaga say this once, or heard she said it. It's not like we're friends. Uh, I don't know why. I don't know why I said it like that. Um, that you want to make when you perform, you want to make the big rooms feel small and the small rooms feel big.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
That's
That's 100%
that's like
right.
that's the number one rule. So yeah. I mean, what do you guys say about that?
Listen,
What this is your show. What do you guys say about that? Chase Steel Gray. What you guys say about that?
Jonathan,
What you guys say
let's
about
reel it in for a second. Let's reel it in for 1 second. I This is why I brought you here because I knew this would happen.
that?
When we take everything together that we've spoken about, the health tips that you gave us in the beginning, this
Yeah.
lifestyle mindset, I always like to talk about or have people bring up one specific book that has done something to their entire career of their life. A book that you refer to, maybe sometimes when you get weak in the mind, you might go to and say, I gotta read that chapter again. What's that book for you? Something you can recommend to everyone that has to do with mental health or it has to do with mindset, any of that. Just
well,
one that comes down.
well, I had two books that came to mind.
Okay.
One was a book that came to mind that really gave me the foundation for that whole philosophy I write about in my own book. And I don't go back to this book, but there's one idea in there that is the basis of my own philosophy that, excuse me, everything comes down to three universal dimensions of struggle or existence or identity or and it's this book called Conversations with God by
Well, of
Donald
course, of course.
Donald
Yes.
Marsh. And I really love the part he says in the beginning of that book where he's talking to God through his writing, and God and he says basically he discovers or it just comes to him that divine things come in three and primal things come in twos. And so that whole thing about this triune truth, which you find in aspects of nature and philosophy, that this aspect of three, that reading that in that book, uh, having that hit me when all these other things happened in my life that I talk about in my own writing. That's probably the first book that comes to mind. The second one is one that I just recently finished, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Uh, right? That's yeah. So
Great book.
that one, that one's a great one, just because, especially, like, look, it's like we all have. I honestly am really. I find myself being very frustrated with that where I am because I thought at this point in my life I'd be touring, doing my own music, blah blah blah, and I'm still struggling with confidence in my singing. I'm still doing it. It doesn't matter. I'll keep putting myself out there, but just all these other things, I guess the thing is, it's like this issue of imposter syndrome, and and it's funny because as this idea that I'm never good enough, and it doesn't mean it doesn't. I would still love to be, a famous rock star. At this age, is that going to happen? Like, who knows? It may. The internet is a funny place. I think that's the other reason why fitness is important because if you're, Bikram says in his yoga practice, you're as young as your spine feels. So it's like, as if you're going to stay in this game, this is a young person's game. And the longer you age, regardless of what you look in your hair, your face, and your body better be tight, y'all. You got to keep that body tight, and loose, And if you can do that, then there's a better chance you can be healthy enough to take advantage when your shit
Correct. And
hits.
you do that. You do it
I
all the
can
time.
do that, but you also have to be humble enough to know that at any moment that shit can be taken away from you. So you gotta
Yeah.
appreciate every day. And I struggle with gratitude because I am such a stickler. Thanks, Corinne. Such a stickler for not settling, and I think that's an interesting dynamic. Like, yeah, yeah, be gracious, thank God, thank the universe, manifestation, blah blah, freaking blah. But then again, like, don't settle. Know you can do better, and you gotta like want to get better, like your damn life depends on it. Like you're gonna fucking die if you don't get better. That's the level of energy you gotta bring to it.
Jonathan, I could not love you more, my brother. You're one of my favorite people on
I
the
love you
planet.
back, bro. I love
I've
you back for
said
real.
it to you many times in person. I've hugged you, and
Oh,
your energy warms me. I'm inspired by you. I watch you all the time online.
oh,
Everybody,
thanks, man.
make sure you hear me when I say this. When you're done with this uh, Zoom today, just Google Jonathan Arons. So much stuff comes up. You'll need 3 cups of coffee. Trust me.
I mean, oh no, I'll just plug it. Like I have a memoir of 29 short stories
Yep.
from my life, and I touch on some of these things because honestly, I would love to get on a panel to talk about some intersectional politics. Because look, I know I'm in this straight white man body in this life, but I've made some observations, and I feel like as artists, we have a unique vantage point because we perform for all kinds of people.
Right.
And I feel like there aren't enough artists who talk about the intersectional politics of race, of sexuality, of gender, of economics, of religions, of education, all these things that are often thrown at us to make us nervous because we always want to think of us versus them, depending on the characteristic you're talking about. So this my philosophy is that if you believe in a system, of high power people who are pulling the strings, I feel like this main strategy, and look, I don't want to be a Terrence Howard here. This is like based on some actual research, and I put some time and thought. I'm aware of. You gotta be careful of this. I heard freaking Neil deGrasse Tyson. Oh my God, he was brutal. But bringing up that Dunning uh, Kruger effect, you got to be really careful about just because you know a little bit about a subject that you're an expert. That's the thing. I'm aware of the Dunning Kruger effect and apophenia, seeing patterns where there are none that exist. Right, but I really believe when it comes to this system, they want to make us nervous by thinking we are at constant odds with an absolute opposite, whether that's race, economics, gender, and profit from selling both sides coping mechanisms and survival mechanisms. Now
Okay.
that's
I,
chapter
the only
28.
reason I'm stopping you, the only reason I'm stopping you is because of our time. We
Yeah,
have to pull away from this. I love you, and I'm gonna bring you.
chapter 28 of the book. Chapter 28. That's all. The second to last chapter.
I'm gonna bring you back. I promise, because there's some other things I
Okay.
want to talk to you about.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having
I
me.
really, really appreciate you. I love your energy. You're so intelligent. You're
Thank
insightful. You say things
thank you,
that
man.
definitely inspire me all the time. Since I've met you, I do have your book. We do have it in the chat, so people can
Yeah.
grab it there. Please visit Jonathan on all the platforms. He's everywhere. You'll be amazed by his talent, his grit, his resilience. Such an entertaining human being. I really,
Yeah,
really.
and let's throw you some flowers, Chase. I've never met someone so talented who who's on top of all your musicality. You have such a warmth
Thank you.
that brings people together in ways that no one else can.
I
And
appreciate
and and so we appreciate you.
Yes, sir. That's
Thank
very
you.
nice. That's very kind of you to say. I work on it every day. I promise you I do.
And
So,
in fact, when it comes to gratitude, I think about you often. I'm like,
Thank
what
you.
would Chase do? How would
And
Chase
I'm
think about
grateful
this?
for that. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. The
That's
messages
real.
move around in a circular motion. And if someone says, "Hey, that's the guy I think about," that's the best for me, bro. That's the best for me. Really,
Yeah.
really. So, Jonathan, you make me think about so many things, and I really appreciate you. Before we go, we we always end our daily huddle with our tenants. You said some of them already, but I'm going to go through them again, and you'll
Yeah.
probably take this away from you. I know you know these already, but I'm going to say
No,
them
preach.
again. Remember
Yeah, tell 'em.
to live out loud to the highest of your ability. Remember to love stronger than you've ever loved. Pick today as the day that you begin that. Remember
Yeah.
always to laugh out loud. It's not that serious out here. We can make light of so many situations. Remember to give it a shot, to eat plant-based a few days a week if you can. Let your body relax. Let the digestive system move through the way that we were meant to be, right? In a very fluid fashion. Sleep more than you've been sleeping before, because we all need sleep. You began with that.
Yeah.
Sleep is very, very important, right?
Yeah.
Also, stress less. The stress gets us nowhere. Stick to the people who make you flourish, who lighten up the load in your life. And you know what? Listen to the trombone. That's not one of our tenants, actually. It's really, I love what you do. And, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Oh, come on.
And yeah, that's what we say. I'm telling you.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
Jonathan, I'm going to have you back for part 2 very soon, because I have lots to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Being here.
Thank you, Chase. Thank you, bro. Thank you, man.
And everyone will get to speak to Jonathan next time. I know we didn't have questions today like we normally do, but man, that's time.
Damn, I'm sorry.
It's
Sorry
all
about
good.
that.
It's all good. We're going to come back. We're going to bring you back.
All right,
Everyone
all
have
right.
a spectacular day. Jonathan, I'll be in touch with you. Everybody do the best you can be the person you are, because that's all you got. Have a good one. Peace.
That's it. That's it. Nice.
What's up?
And you know what?